So I've shot with a lot of cameras over the years, but my absolute favorite camera right now is the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, which is kind of old at this point. We've had a bunch of 6K models and 6K Pro models since then, but I still really love the 4K. With the 6K, you have this weird thing where only certain resolutions are available at certain codecs. So if you're shooting B-RAW, you can't shoot UHD, you have to do DCI. But if you're shooting ProRes, you can't shoot DCI, you can only shoot UHD. Not a huge deal, but kind of weird, kind of annoying. You don't have that issue with the 4K, you can just shoot whatever you want. And then because it has a micro 4/3 mount, it has some advantages over the 6K, I think. So I want to just walk you through my Blackmagic rig and show you how I have everything set up. So for starters, I have the small rig top plate, which is great because then I don't need a cage. And then I have a 15mm rod with the small rig follow focus on here. And then I have a Tilta mini matte box bolted to the front. I actually like the Tilta more than the small rig. And then I have this top handle, which just goes right on one of the cold shoes, which is great because I can just quickly and easily take it off when I don't need it. For power, I just use the Blackmagic battery grip and then 2 NPF batteries. All my gear uses Sony NPF batteries. Lights, monitors, it's all using the same batteries. And so I like that I don't have to bring multiple chargers and multiple different kinds of batteries. It's the same charger for all the batteries I use, and that makes it really convenient. So I love this battery grip. It's also small and doesn't look as janky as trying to rig up a V-mount battery. And when I'm on set with a paying client, I really don't want my gear to look janky. And then I just have a small rig base plate with some short rods and a lens support, because having this battery grip on here, you do get some wobble with the camera. And so this just makes sure all my shots are as stable as possible. And then I just record straight to SSDs. So my SSD holder will usually just go right there off to the side, out of the way. And then if I need a monitor, I can throw that right on top of that handle. And then I still have room on the side to mount a microphone or a wireless receiver. This monitor I really like. It's by Timbercod, and there's no battery slot because it has an internal battery. So you charge this up and you get 4 hours on a single charge. And for me, that's super convenient. It's less batteries I have to bring, less batteries I have to keep track of. It's just really convenient to have it all in one like that. And even with all this stuff on here, it's not a huge monstrous rig. It's still pretty small and compact, and I can still shoot pretty comfortably with this. But if I do need to throw this on like a gimbal or something, I can just take off the SSD recorder, throw an SD card in the camera, and take off this whole top handle. Can take off the follow focus. Can take off the matte box. Can unscrew the battery grip, take the whole battery grip off, and then I can just throw this bare bones camera on my gimbal, and then with it stripped down, I can just power this camera right from the gimbal. For lenses, I have the Sigma 18-35 f1.8. This has been my workhorse. I've had this lens for years and years and years. I've had this lens pretty much since it came out. And then I have 2 different lens adapters, both from Viltrox. I have the EF-M1 and the EF-M2 Mark II. Now, why do I need both? The Pocket 4K has a micro 4/3 lens mount, and so with micro 4/3 you're going to get a 2x crop on whatever lens you put on there. So a 50mm lens is going to have a focal range closer to 100mm. So to counteract this, most people will use a speed booster like this EF-M2 Mark II, and that reduces your focal range by 0.71 times, so you get more of a Super 35 ASPC field of view. This EF-M1 isn't a speed booster, it's just a straight adapter. There's no optics in here. So why would you want this? So if I'm out running and gunning and I need to get tighter, instead of changing lenses, I can just change adapters. And now this 18-35 is more like a 36-70. Yeah, the lens compression in bokeh isn't going to be the same as if I was shooting on an actual 70mm lens, but in a pinch, it's a decent enough compromise. And this is way cheaper and takes up way less space than a whole nother lens in my kit. So that's my Blackmagic Pocket 4K rig. I love this camera. I think it's a joy to shoot with. I love the image quality that comes out of it. But this rig really just makes the camera as convenient to use as possible and lets it be the workhorse I need.